we're going to take a look at percentage increase or percentage decrease. And what we mean by this is, so if a certain amount is increased by a certain percentage or decreased by a certain percentage. Now, it would be a good idea to watch the video that I've already got on percentage of a quantity before you try this particular video, as it will help you get familiar with finding a percentage of a quantity. So our first example here is to increase £300 by 21%. So the first thing we need to do is find out what 21% of 300 is. So 21%, we are going to change that first of all to a fraction. So 21% is 21 over 100, all percentage out of a 100. And we don't need to simplify it down. We're not going to simplify it down. It doesn't simplify down. So we're just going to leave it as 21 over 100. So then to find 21 hundredths of 300, we use the rule of divide by the bottom and times by the top. So we're going to take our £300. We're going to divide by the bottom, so divide by 100, which is £3, and times by the top. So we're going to take our £3 and we're going to times that by 21. So we've divided by the bottom and we're now timesing by the top. 21 times by 3 is 63, so it's £63 increase. Now we want to work out how much that would be then. So we started off with £300. We're going to increase it by 21%, which is £63. We need to add that on. So increase means you're going to be adding on. So 300 plus 63 is 363. So that's your answer, 363. Now you can follow the same process for the next example. So if you want to pause the video and try this yourself now, so remember, change your percentage into a fraction. It may be a good idea this time to simplify it down a little bit, and then divide by the bottom and times by the top, and then add on whatever you get to your original 60 kilograms. Okay, so we're going to go through this. 15% is 15 over 100 as a fraction. I'm going to simplify that down because if I divide 60 by 100, I'm going to end up with the decimal, which is fine. We can do the decimal multiplied by 15, but to make it a little bit easier, I'm going to simplify it down. So I'm going to divide both of these here by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So I'm going to divide by 20 and times by 3. So I'm going to take my 60 kgs, 60 kilograms, I'm going to divide by 20, divide by the bottom. 20 into 60 goes 3 times. Okay, so I've divided by the bottom, now I need to times by the top, so I'm going to take my 3, I'm going to multiply by the top. At the top we have the number 3, so it's going to be 3 times 3, which is 9 kgs. So I need to increase my 60 kilograms by 15%, which is 9 kilograms. So on the next line I'm going to do 60 kilograms plus 9 kilograms means my new amount will be 69 kilograms. So it's 69 kilograms. 60 plus 9 is 69. Okay, on to our next couple of examples. So here we've got a decrease. So the only difference between this and our first two questions is instead of adding on at the end, we need to take away when we find the percentage. So we'll work through the first one, and then if you want to pause the video, you can do the second one on your own as an example. So the first one, 250, and we're going to decrease that by 12%. So my fraction for 12% is 12 over 100. I'm going to simplify that down. I'm going to divide by 2 to give me 6 over 50. Now, I could just leave it as it is. I could simplify it down further. I'm actually going to leave it as 6 over 50 because 250 divides quite easily by 50. So dividing by the bottom, 250, and we're going to divide that by 50, divide by the bottom. So how many 50s are there in 250? Well, there's 5. Okay, if you ignore the zeros for a moment, 5 into 25 goes 5 times, so it's 5. And then I'm going to multiply by the top, so I'm going to do my 5 that I got there, and I'm going to multiply by 6, which is at the top of my fraction. And 6 times by 5 is 30. So it's £30. Now I'm decreasing here, so in this last step, as I said already, we need to take away. So £250, take away my 12%, which is £30, which will give me an answer of £220. Okay, so if you want to pause the video now and try the next one, so find your 30%, so change your 30% into a fraction. You may want to simplify that down a little. And then once you've divided by the bottom times by the top, your last step will be to take whatever answer you get away from 60 centimeters. Okay, so first step, as I said, is to change our 30% into a fraction, so 30 over 100. I'm going to simplify this down because 60, although it does divide by 100, it's going to give me a decimal, so if I simplify that down, I might avoid the decimal, so I'm going to divide that by 10, which will give me 3 over 10. 60 divides by 10 very easily, so that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to take my 60, I'm going to divide by the bottom. 60 divided by 10 is 6. And then I'm going to multiply by the top. So at the top I've got 3, so I'm going to do 6 times by 3, and 6 times by 3 is 18. So now my last step is to take away, so 30% is 18, so I need to do 60 centimeters. I'm going to take away 18 centimeters, which is going to leave me with 42 centimeters. So my answer for that one is 42 centimeters. Let's take a look now at a couple of exam questions. So this first one here says, William's salary is £24,000. His salary increases by 4%. Work out William's new salary. So this, first of all, keyword here is increase. That means our final step is going to be adding. First step, as it was before, was to change our 4% into a fraction. So 4% is 4 over 100. Now, 24,000 divides very easily by 100. So I'm not going to simplify this at all because I think it would be easier to divide it by 100 than it would be divided by anything else. So I'm going to divide by the bottom times by the top. So £24,000 divided by 100, and that is 240. Now I need to multiply by the top, so that's 4. So I'm going to do 240 times by 4. I'm going to write it out like this. So 4 times by 0 is 0. 4 4s are 16, so put my 1 up and my 6 down. 4 times by 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so it's £960. So that means William's salary is being increased by £960. So he was getting 24,000, but now I need to add that on to what he, the 24,000 add on the £960 increase, plus 960. So that means his new salary will be £24,000, 960. So £24,000 and 960. Okay, so one more exam question for us to try. Again, you can pause and just try this yourself. You don't need to work through it with me. If you want to just go ahead and try it yourself, do that. So this one is a reduction, so that's a decrease. So again, you're looking for keywords here in your question. So this here says we are going to be reducing by 20%. So Anna buys a dress in a sale. The normal price of the dress is reduced by 20%. Now the normal price is £36.80. We want to find out what it would be in the sale. So work out the sale price of the dress. So first step is to change that 20% into fractions. So 20 over 100. Now I'm not that keen on doing £36.80 divided by 100. So I'm going to try simplifying this down. So I'm going to divide both these by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 100 divided by 20 is 5. So I'm actually going to find 1/5 of £36.80. So I'm going to do £36.80 and I'm going to divide by the bottom. I'm going to write it out like this because I need to work through that. Obviously it depends. If it's a calculator exam, there's just questions coming up and you can just do £36.80 divided by 5 in your calculator, or you could just do £36.80 divided by 100 and times by 20 in your calculator, so you don't need to worry about simplifying your fraction down. But I'm doing this as if it's on a non-calculator paper. So 5 into 3 doesn't go, and carry my 3 over. 5 into 36 goes 7 times. And there would be 1 left over. Put my decimal point in. 5 into 18 goes, well, 5 3s are 15. And that would leave me with 3 left over. And 5 into 30 goes 6 times. So £7.36. Don't need to multiply by the top because when I multiply by 1, I'm going to still end up with £7.36. So what I need to do now is my reduction. So I'm taking away here. So £36.80. I'm going to reduce that by £7.36. And again, if you have a calculator, you can do this in the calculator, but if this is a non-calculator test, this is how you should probably go about setting this out. So 6 away from 0, I can't do, change that up to a 7, carry over my 1. 6 away from 10 is 4. 3 away from 7 is 4. 7 away from 6 I can't do, so change that to a 2. 7 away from 16 is 9. And 0 away from 2 is 2. So it's £29.44. That is how much you'll have to pay for this dress in the sale at 20% off. I hope you find that helpful, and obviously if you find this a little bit confusing, it might be a good idea to go back and do percentages of a quantity video first and then come back and try this again.